This is the Economics Weekly, but September is Tourism Month. So today we won't be talking economics only. We're also talking about tourism. And with me is Prof Elmarie Slabbert of the TREES research entity. So tourism research in the environment, social,
yes.
and
Economics?
Economics,
yes.
That's right. Thank you, Elmarie. So welcome, Elmarie, and it's a privilege to talk to you in Tourism Month. Maybe you can just start us off by telling a bit, what is Tourism Month and what is it about?
Thank you so much, Walde. Tourism Month is about creating awareness around tourism. And I think, it's such an important sector for South Africa that we need to give that credit over 30 days with a lot of tourism activities happening. And then it also builds up to Tourism Day, World Tourism Day, which is on the 27th of September, which is actually then celebrated worldwide. So it is really about, creating that awareness amongst communities, businesses, and so on of the value of this amazing sector.
And I think the value goes beyond economics. We saw in the gross domestic product numbers last week, the one subcomponent that grew from consumer spending was basically tourism. It's restaurants, accommodation. So how's the tourism sector doing post-COVID in South Africa?
We thought that recovery would be slow, and it was fairly slow. But we've seen now significant growth in domestic tourist numbers, for example. So since COVID, we had 28 million domestic tourism trips. It's now 37 million domestic tourism trips. So the local market has really, come to the party and is traveling, and there's a lot more people that can travel. On the other hand, our international market's a little bit slower. We had 10.2 million visitors in 2019. We now at 8.2 million. So recovering the international market a little bit slower. But people are traveling, Walden, and I think especially maybe shorter trips over the weekends, using those, what we call in tourism, the short-lived campaigns, where you can travel, close to home, still spend money. So it's doing well.
And the theme of Tourism Month is sustainability. So we sort of know sustainability from an environmental perspective, but what does it mean in broader terms for the tourism sector?
For tourism, this is significant because we need to find a balance in the sector between economics, environs, and especially society. The private sector is a lot of times driven by profit, which is good. They need to employ people and so on. But I think we should not neglect our communities where our resources are actually, or where we can find our resources, they're used for tourism. So finding that balance between making money, looking after communities, and looking after the environment in tourism is critical. We've seen a lot of shifts in terms of sustainable tourism, where people are questioning, their carbon footprint and all of that. So people are thinking, especially internationally, twice, should we travel to a long-haul destination such as South Africa? So in this country, we need to look at sustainable ways that we can manage our products and give back to the environment that will also motivate maybe tourists, to come. Because I can see that we are trying to balance that economics, environment, and society principles.
Oh, that's very interesting, and I think the just transition on the energy side is well known, but yes, this is also a good one to balance the environment and the impact on people.
Yes.
So you hosted a symposium last week, the TREES unit, and with a lot of international researchers. What are they researching on? What are the big questions that are of interest?
We had a wonderful week last week where we brought together, as you said, international fellows, but also postgraduate students from other universities, and quite robust discussions around sustainability, and the focus is very much on those three themes. There's development of new measurements, for example, for social indicators. How do we review these communities? How do we give back to these communities? There were also research that question, should it be, people over profit at this point in time? And we had discussions around that. So I think across the globe, people are moving towards more sustainable matters, and also then focusing very much on researching that. But there was also a lot of talk about the integration of the research that we do with our industry. Do they actually get together, and how do we plow back? Because I think that is critical. We can do academic research, but are we really improving the sector? So we also had a lot of discussions around that to give back to people to make informed decisions, and then to ensure that those decisions filter into policy, where the big changes actually should happen.
I hope this contributes a bit, just to make it accessible to a broader audience, etc.
Yeah.
So, what would you think is like one take-home message from Tourism Month, the sustainability angle, the work that you are doing? What should people remember after watching this?
I think it's important to remember that all of us have a role to play in sustainability. So the way that we act when we travel, the decisions that we make, when we travel, can contribute to sustainability. I think sometimes people think, if I'm on holiday, anything goes. I don't need to recycle, or I don't need to contribute to the environment. And I think that's where we make a mistake. So each and every person traveling must do their bit for this environment, economics, and society. I think then we will start to see change.
Elmarie, thank you very much. Thanks for joining the Economics Minute. We'll hopefully have another good topic like this very soon. I'm Waldo Kriegel. Share, like it, and keep watching. Thank you very much.